Joining us on the line right now, he's a lawyer, a former judge. He's the 81st Attorney General of these United States. He is Michael Mukasey, and we are so glad to have you here this morning. Good morning.
Good to be with you. Good morning.
And we wanted to have you on because, quite frankly, we wanted to sort of discuss the legal issues surrounding what we're doing militarily as we now move beyond Iraq into Syria, and the legal underpinnings of that move. So, look, here's the first thing I want to ask you: does the United States have the legal right to do what we're doing right now? And then, secondarily, does the president have the right to do that without coming back to Congress and asking for formal permission?
Well, the short answers are actually yes to both. Any country has a right to defend itself. And the declared aim of both ISIS and this new group, Khorasan, which is apparently another offshoot of Al-Qaeda, is both to make war on us. So we have certainly every right recognized by any other country to defend ourselves. So far as the president's authority to act, there are really two bases for that. One, which some people frown on, but which is nonetheless there, is the initial authorization for the use of military force back in 2001, which was authorized against Al-Qaeda and its affiliates. Now, we can't, we're told that ISIS split off because they were considered too extreme by Al-Qaeda. The fact is that they've got Al-Qaeda DNA, and I don't think we ought to be letting Al-Qaeda decide who it is that we fight and who it is.
So you're comfortable with all this?
I am.
Why do we have a War Powers Act then?
We have a War Powers Act because Congress decided that it wanted to try to hem in the president's authority, and I think every president since Jimmy Carter, when it was initially put on the books, has taken the view that the War Powers Act is unconstitutional. The fact is that presidents have abided by it. They have lived with it. But I think if push came to shove, the authority of that act is really open to question.
It is interesting, though, and I think noteworthy that the very laws that you just cited, Mr. Attorney General, giving the president authorization for these strikes, the president himself wanted to overturn just about a year ago, I think, saying that he wanted to end the open-ended war on terror. Now he's utilizing them for his benefit, and as you say, to our benefit as well, and the country's benefit. Let me ask you this, though, sir, because I know that your policies came under fire with regard to detention at Gitmo and as well as advanced interrogation techniques with many terrorists who were caught in the field. Our military advisors, about 1,500 or 1,700 strong, are on the ground there, whether they're wearing boots or not, in Iraq. If they happen to capture a couple of these bad guys, where do we take them? What do we do with them? We can't take them to Gitmo based on this president's policies.
That is a huge problem. The president has been pursuing a policy of not taking anybody to Gitmo because Congress has restricted his authority to take people from Gitmo to the United States, so he won't use Gitmo. I think that's a huge mistake. He's also abandoned the interrogation program of the CIA, scrapped it completely, and replaced it with the limits set in the Army Field Manual, which is available to any terrorist group to use as a training device for its recruits to resist interrogation, and that is the way they use it. So we're going to be very hard pressed if we capture one of these people. What they've been doing up until now is putting them on a ship for a short period of time and interrogating them. You can't really gather intelligence that way because you have to go back and back and back, double back on people, check out the information they give you. Sometimes it takes months, even years, to get good intelligence out of detainees, and we've gotten intelligence out of detainees at Gitmo years after they were captured.
All right, but where do the lines of presidential power, where do they lie? Let me ask you this question. I mean, we hear that the president, for example, wanted to take unilateral action about amnesty for illegal immigrants in this country, and then he decided, well, we got this election going, and it may be controversial. I'm going to hold off. But we heard just the other day the vice president say, as soon as the elections are over, the president is going to take action, and he's going to do a lot about immigration, illegal immigration. So how much power does he have to act unilaterally on these matters without consulting Congress, without Congress being behind him?
Well, defending the country and acting on
Are
illegal
different things, aren't
immigration
they?
are two very different things. And he has the executive authority, all of it. But the fact is that when it comes to setting immigration policy, Congress's powers are very strong there, and his ability to act by using the executive is going to be attacked and second guessed if he tries to do it unilaterally.
Our guest is Michael Mukasey, the former U.S. Attorney General during the Bush presidency, and therefore has a pretty good working knowledge of the rights and the legal basis for the White House's actions here against ISIS. And I just want to circle back about this one item because I find it to be really disconcerting. The president has made the case for these airstrikes and for operations in Iraq and Syria against ISIS. I think he's made a pretty good case, even if his strategy isn't quite up to snuff. And so when we are there engaged with the enemy and we happen to capture a high-level operative from the ISIS terrorist group, who may very well have information about an imminent threat to the homeland. The president himself has said that they are threatening the homeland and that they will be a threat to the homeland. Right. We have no tools at our disposal to get that information and extract it from that high-level terrorist. Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct. If you open the toolbox, at that point, the only thing you find in there is the Army Field Manual, according to the president's directive. Unless he changes that, we are going to be in a very bad place.
Can Congress do something about this? Can the Senate step in and say, no, we've got to have some policies at our disposal here? Can they push something on the commander-in-chief?
Absolutely. Right. They can. What they can do is pass a program and authorize the CIA to adopt measures that are beyond the Army Field Manual. Now, that would have to be something that would be passed by a margin that would survive a veto if he intended to veto it. But the fact is that in order for an interrogation program to be effective, it also has to be secret because you can't be telling terrorists what to expect.
Yeah.
So they can't.
It's hard to keep it secret when you've got both parties, both houses of Congress debating it and passing legislation, and then having an open veto fight over it.
They can't outline the precise measures that are going to be used because that would defeat the whole purpose. What they could do is authorize the CIA to adopt a classified program, but that too would be within the control of the president because he appoints the CIA director.
All right. Well, former U.S. Attorney General Michael Mukasey, thank you so much for joining us and helping us understand this.
I just want to ask a real quick low-hanging fruit question.
Right.
Do you think George Bush would ever have kept a coffee cup in his hand when he saluted the Marines at the base of the helicopter there?
No. Absolutely not.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us this morning. I think that deep sigh said it all.
Sort of explains